G'day headbangers and welcome to Dozers Metalworks. Welcome back my fellow metalheads to another edition of Dozers Metalworks. Well, this week's something special. I'm going to start a new segment and I'm calling it Dozers Vault. Now what I'm going to do with this could be once a month, twice a month, you know, whatever. I'm going to talk about a favourite album or from one of my favourite bands. The reason I said multiple because I have a favourite album from each band, but then I have other albums from the same band that are really good to listen to as well. And because I have a lot of bands that I love from all different subgenres of rock and metal, so you know, a lot to get through. But today I thought we'd start off, because I've been listening to these guys all week at work. We're going to start off with Judas Priest. Now, my favourite album from them, ever since I heard it, nothing will ever replace it, is their 1990 album Painkiller. Now, wow, what can I start about this album? Just the opening title track, the drum fill that opens it up, what an absolute banger. And speaking of drums, this was the very first album featuring Scott Travis on drums. And unfortunately, it was the last album with Rob Halford before he left the band for a while. But anyway, the tracks on the album is obviously the opening track, title track Painkiller. You got Hell Patrol, All Guns Blazing, Leather Rebel, Metal Meltdown, Nightcrawler, Between the Hammer and the Anvil, A Touch of Evil, which is a bit of a softer track but still great. Battle Hymn, which is an instrumental, and then the final track, One Shot of Glory. Now they did a re-release back in 2001. They did that for most of their albums, digitally remastered versions. The bonus tracks for that were Living Bad Dreams, which were recorded during the 1990 Painkiller sessions, and then the other bonus track is Leather Rebel live at Foundations Forum, Los Angeles, California on the 13th of September 1990. So yeah, now like I said, this is my favourite album by Judas Priest. I love every single track, all killer, no filler, I believe the term is. But yeah, that is the first locked in LP, album, whatever you want to call it, into Dozers Vault. Now, if you haven't heard it, definitely worth it, because it's definitely their best album in my eyes anyway. But anyway, that's the first edition of Dozers Vault. Stay tuned for more entries. Now, the next thing I'm going to do this week is something a bit, I wouldn't say different, a bit more interesting. Going off sort of metal to a degree, but we're still sticking with the hard rock kind of thing. And I've decided to do, I thought it was a top 10, but there was that many, top 20 power ballads. Now some of you are going, what, really? But what can I say, power ballads is a staple of any rock and metal band, to be honest, so you've got to put it in there. Now I've got 20 here. I do have 2 from the one band, but these are in no particular order whatsoever. You know, there's no favourites or least liked here. They're just 20 that I like and came to my mind when I was thinking about it. Anyway, so we start off with Anytime by the band Macaulay Shepard Group, or MSG, from their album Save Yourself. Next one is Always by Bon Jovi from their Greatest Hits album at Crossroad. Third one is Desperate Heart by Steve Stevens from their album Atomic Playboys. Next one is Blind Faith by Warrant from their album Cherry Pie. Next one is Love Bites by Def Leppard from their album Hysteria. Next one is Carrie by Europe from their album The Final Countdown. Next one is Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison from their album Open Up and Say Ah. One that's sort of out of the box a bit, but still one of the best ones you'll ever hear. I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner from their album Agent Provocateur. Next one is Alone from the band Heart from their album Bad Animals. Next one is the second one from Warrant, I Saw Red from the Warrant album Cherry Pie. The next one, this one's an epic one. The album version goes for about 12 minutes. But I'll Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That by Meatloaf from the album Bat Out of Hell 2, Back Into Hell. The next one, Love Is a Killer by Vixen from their album Rev It Up. Next one is More Than Words by the band Extreme from their album Porno Graffiti. Then you've got I Remember You from Skid Row from their self-titled track Skid Row. Sorry, self-titled band album. Then this one is interesting because they had two versions of the song. You have My Immortal by Evanescence from the album Fallen. Now originally you had the full acoustic version of it, which is just the piano. Then they re-released another version, and it's called the band version, where the last third of the song is all heavy. But yeah. Okay, the next one is Wind of Change by Scorpions from their album Crazy World. Next one is Without You by Motley Crue from their album Dr. Feelgood. Next one is November Rain by Guns N' Roses from their album Use Your Illusion 1. Then probably one of the most popular power ballads ever from the 80s, Is This Love by Whitesnake from their album Whitesnake, also known as 1987. Now this last one, some people say it might not be a power ballad, but when you listen to it and then you watch the video clip, you think, holy shit, it does sound like a freaking power ballad. It looks like a Def Leppard video clip, for crying out loud. But we're talking about Wasting Love by Iron Maiden. I know that might be a bit of a shock because it's Maiden, but you listen to it, you watch the video clip, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, that's my top 20 power ballads. Now, some of you may or may not like power ballads, but I reckon it's a staple for any metal band to have, especially ones from the 80s. And particularly in the, you know, hair metal, cock rock genre. But anyway, that's this week's edition of Dozers Metalworks. Oh, and a quick shout out and a congratulations to Metallica for winning the Best Metal Performance at this year's Grammy Awards for their album 72 Seasons. Well done, boys. Keep up the good work. And until next time, headbangers, mosh on.